everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. This week's going to have a lot to do with earnings. Data is very light, so we're not even really going to look at it. On Tuesday, we do have PMI composite. On Thursday, we do have GDP. Friday, personal income and outlays. Just a slow week there. No Fed speakers going into the FOMC meeting next week. But we do have some big earnings names. On Monday afternoon, we do have Clift, and I can see a few of these smaller regional banks in there as well that we can keep an eye on. Monday morning. On Tuesday morning, we got Coke, Verizon, GE, RTX, we got 3M, Spotify, and General Motors. Tuesday afternoon, big night, Microsoft, Google, both Googles with Alphabet, Snap, Visa, Teladoc, Texas Instruments in there. So another look in the semi sector, real good look into the tech sector. Boeing on Wednesday before open. We got T-Mobile and General Dynamics on Wednesday. Another big night Wednesday afternoon with Meta, IBM, ServiceNow, Baker Hughes is in there. Give us a look at the energy names. Thursday, Royal Caribbean, we got UPS, Southwest, Northrop Grumman, more of the defense names, but Valero's in there, Tractor Supply, Merck. Again, Thursday afternoon, another big night with Amazon, Enphase, Intel, Ford, Chipotle, Capital One, and Friday we have a couple energy names, ExxonMobil and Chevron, and we have AbbVie in there as well. So let's go look at some charts. Earnings will set the pace for the week. So our put to call ratio last week, we did cool off a little bit, but not much movement into it as of last week. We did cool off a little bit at 104. The oscillator for the NASDAQ is negative 144, and for the New York Stock Exchange, negative 133. We still have plenty of room. We're getting warm there. We still have plenty of room to move in either direction. The SPX on the weekly time frame, we did get a strong close outside of our channel. Bands are trying to open up. This MACD is bearish, so we are looking for some follow through and some continuation off that candle. Does not mean that we absolutely have to get that on Monday. So BREF did close negative 1281. So Mondays are historically choppy days. So there's a good chance that we could see chop tomorrow, and that would also help cool these oscillators off, or these indicators off. The US dollar, we are still trading under the 9 and 20 there. VIX, we got our breakout last week. We took out the range high, which would have been target 1, and trying to push higher. Nice push on the VIX. Crude still hanging out above the 20. The moving averages are setting up for a move down here. So we are kind of looking like the drowning goose. So we did, this is a rough chart because the moving averages do look like we do want to try to turn lower. You can see how your 9 is turning out. We are above the 20. We want to see this 9 turn back up and continue higher. Keeping a close eye on crude with the ground invasion imminent in Israel, but that possibly does look like a drowning goose trying to set up there. And overall, we do think crude wants to go down. We kind of know why. It's short-term bullish right now. Apple still trading in that wedge. Strong move down on Friday. Natural gas, so this has been in a downtrend. Natural gas was strong, and for over a week now, we have been into a fairly strong downtrend there. Apple intraday, nice move down on Friday. Gold strong push up. We got a candle pattern here called a rising 2, and we were able to get confirmation on that and some more upside on those names. We were watching that in the Discord. So this chart tells us the percentage of the stocks that are above their 50-day and their 200 daily on the New York Stock Exchange and the S&P 500. So right now, 31% of the stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are above their daily 200. Only 19% are above their 50. And for the S&P 500, this is telling us that 32.80% are above the 200, but only 15% of the stocks in the S&P 500 are above the 50. So that's a pretty rough look there. We are getting a little extended here, and we're going to talk more about some stuff when we get to the SPY chart. The advanced decline lines definitely turned down, an ugly look, and you can see just a quick look at the S&P 500 on the daily. We did close below that 200. We're going to take a better look at that chart as well. So Aflac, the insurance companies, kind of coming in here pretty hard. So we did take a look at the sector earlier. So we went through and did a sector review, and we could see a lot of stuff pulling back, and we could see the financial sector looking pretty weak, and seeing, of course, all the regional bank misses that we're seeing is pretty rough on the XLF all by itself. But seeing the insurance companies come in like this as well, let's keep XLF on the radar for possible shorts in that sector. AMC trading pretty rough down here. We're losing the 9, trying to hold the 20. AMD trading pretty sideways on Friday, pretty tight pattern there, give you a trading range. Depending on where we did get I don't know if that's a bad print there or what's going on with that candle, but we can draw a box on this if we can stay in that box in pre-market, depending on where we could gap up or gap down, but we'll talk more about that later. Amazon, still looking for a close below this area here. One of the stronger charts. Well, there's definitely charts stronger than this, but this one we have not closed below that range low yet, where we have in some other charts. ARK breaking lower outside of that wedge. And Avgo still trading in this ascending triangle. It's getting pretty tight in this area. 9 and 20 still looks good. If we can get a breakout here, we could get a really nice move. MACD just kind of got the drowning goose pinch right there, trying to go lower. Keeping a close eye on this. We're getting ready to get a move. Plan A, Plan B. Those bands are pinching. We want to see those bands open up. AMD. This is AMD's daily chart. Looks like we are coming into a previous level of support here. We are under the 9 and 20 and did get a candle to close below. You can kind of see shoulder, head. Might need to push up and put in a false or a soft shoulder there before rolling back over. That MACD has crossed bearish as well. AMD, this is the weekly chart coming back in to retest the breakout area. Amazon, kind of H-cell pattern is there on Friday, and Amazon weekly under the 9 and 20 here. We did get a close below last week. Keep an eye on this band, see if it does want to start moving lower. Apple, this is Apple's weekly chart. Apple still trading within the little flag here, the wedge. It is under the 9 and 20 on the daily. So Boeing breaking lower here. You do got a big H-cell pattern. We were looking for a close below. This candle actually gapped down and never closed, so no confirmation on that candle. This is your first confirmation candle, giving you a little H-cell pattern type move, but that closed below the rest of that. Starting a move lower there. Bitcoin, nice push up here. TNX, so this is the same chart with the big cup and handle breaking out, trying to go higher. And this is putting a lot of pressure on the market. I did add this. This is the VIX. It's just for comparison, and you can see the comparison pushing, or the VIX in comparison pushing up with the TNX. Just, you know, this is pushing rates up. This is showing us there's some fear in the market. There's a lot of things going on right now in the world that the market's a little unsure of. We got coin trading in this tight wedge. This coil is getting pretty tight. If we can clear those moving averages for a pop-up, this may want to take a nice move. Keep an eye on this one with Bitcoin steady trying to push. We got Carvana breaking down out of the double top area. You can see your M pattern breaking down, going lower. Still watching that. Would like to get a move back up to that 9 to kind of re-bear flag. Keep an eye on that one. The communication sector, you can see this wedge here on the charts today. We've got so we did the sector review today, and basically we changed this pattern up a little bit. We ended up drawing a box on here, and we're watching a box across here for a trading range. We're looking for a breakout of that trading range. Remember, stocks can be traded within the trading range, but we don't try to guess the breakout of the trading range. We let the market decide the breakout, then we take advantage of that. But stocks can be traded within the trading range. XLP. You can see this little flag here setting up for a drowning goose. If possible, keep a close eye on that 9. This can go either way. DraftKings, just another one breaking out to the downside. EQT looking very double topish up here. Could be possible shoulder, head, shoulder, but right now it is looking very double top. It's trying to pull back. Watching this 20 to see how it acts. These energy names have a kind of in suspense right now, waiting to see what happens with the Israel conflict. Lilly. So Lilly, I believe, has earnings this week. Either way, pulling back, we lost a 9. We want to watch the 20. It's been one of the stronger stocks. Kind of losing that MACD, so we want to see where that goes. ExxonMobil. This one's been trying to push up. You can see this evening star pattern right here. Watch your 20. This one does look like it also wants to come down, get below this 9. So your 20 is up here, resistance. You got your 50. This is your 9. Looks like we want to come down, push this 9 down. Band's already trying to suggest more downside. It kind of looks drowning goosish there. Google holding the 9 and 20. Keep an eye on that. Home Depot breaking down. We had this double top for a nice move down. Got this box, but it closed below. So we're looking for Home Depot for a move down. We need to get this 9 out of there. Let's take a look at the month or the weekly chart. Home Depot is down here on the 200 on the weekly. So that is a support level. We do need to keep a close eye on that. If you're interested in trading Home Depot, make sure you know where your 200 is on your weekly time frame. IWM intraday. Very H cell patterns, but we did get the move down for a close below on that one on Friday. The Qs coming into a support level here. See how we act on the Qs. Qs intraday, nice move down. You can see we did move below that previous range high there as well. And the QQQ weekly, this closed right on support. We also got very falling 3-ish candle pattern that closed below. So this is barely below. We could definitely move this line up a little bit to get it more below that candle, or we could actually probably move it down. Adjust it. You can definitely see there's some room to adjust that candle. So let's see what we do get on the Qs. Not good closing below like that. MACD is bearish. JP Morgan. So it had this nice pop on earnings, and then they just sold it. You can see that huge shooting star candle for a big move back down. Want to watch for support in that wedge. Lockheed Martin. This is still one of the better looking charts out here. You can see this very bearish engulfing candle on Friday. Not quite, but a nice move down, rejected at the 200. MRO. So we can see MRO here. This is another one with a nice down candle. This is a dark, not really dark cloud coverage because it didn't gap up and open, but definitely a bearish candle there. You can see that it gapped down and moved lower. Changing character on that MACD. This is one of the better looking energy charts out there. We're above everything here. 9's trying to catch up, so still watching that one for a move up. Merck closed below and then shot right back up into the pattern. You can see the drowning goose coming down in the moving average, but it's just moving so slow. The charts are moving so slow, price action so slow, so it's actually causing the moving averages to move really slow. So the setups are taking so long to form. Meta coming back in. I should have this line extended, watching it for support. You can see we're right back into the angle of support there for the bottom of that wedge. Meta intraday, we did not close. So closed a little stronger than some of the other names. Some of the other names we closed below this range here. So it did close a little stronger than some of the others. Not much there to brag about. Microsoft seeing rejection coming into earnings this week, back below the 9, holding at that 50. Microsoft on the intraday, once again, another one that we can see was stronger at the end of the day. Not, it's showing a little bit of relative strength, but not a lot there to brag about. But this Microsoft weekly chart is holding in much better than a lot of these other ones. Still holding the weekly 9 here. We are under that weekly 20. And NVIDIA still trading there in that wedge, looking very bearish here overall. Very bearish. Got a head and shoulders pattern here. Watching this wedge for right now, clearly see your shoulder, your head, your shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Now clearly see that. Watching this as a wedge for a break below first before I start watching for the neckline. NVIDIA intraday, once again, this side was a little stronger than So showing a little bit of relative strength there at the end of the day versus some of the other stocks. Nvidia still, almost, you can see we did close Friday barely out of it. We could probably adjust those candles a little bit, see where we open up tomorrow. If we do gap down, it'll give us a better shot for a move down. NASDAQ right on support there. Watch your channel. Netflix. So Netflix here, the biggest thing I'm worried about is the Bollinger Bands. We did close back inside of them, so that's no longer a worry for a support level. But that 50-day is. We got to get below that 50 if we're going to try to short this thing. They had a great earnings. I'm not going to short and sit into it myself. Please don't take me wrong. But they had a good earnings, but with the market deteriorating, they may want to come in. If I'm going to short this and want to sit into it short, then I want it inside of that gap. Gaps are support until they are broken into. Gets inside the gap, you want to try to go short, watch your moving averages on the way down. You got the Qs here, trading in a nice cup and handle. SPX daily, we can see here the close below the 200 and the close below that range low. SMH put another note on here. We had more chip news coming in this week. This one is the weekly chart, and we're still trading within that channel there as well. The diamond head and shoulders breaking lower, trying to give us an H cell pattern. So we're looking for a move down here to the target area. Your range low would be or your candle line here would be your target, looking to be below that range low to go lower. So we got the SPY. This is the SPY weekly. Close outside of that channel on the weekly moving averages rolling over. We've got a bearish MACD. We're seeing the CFM showing us money coming out of it. So the SPY on the monthly, watching this for a cup and handle-ish move. We did close below the 9. Need to watch your 20 monthly for support. SPY daily. Go back to the SPY. First level is your 200. We did get a close below the candle line, so we're looking for a move down to the 200. Watch that tomorrow morning because that's a moving target. It's going to be moving higher, but moving on expanding volume as well. We clear the 200. The target is your trend line. Got to be careful because we have made some nice moves down. Being Monday, I would not be surprised, even if they just give a soft push in the market before ripping it back down. I would not be surprised if they don't come and try to buy the market up. There's also a good chance that a lot of people were selling because of the possible ground invasion in Israel, and where that didn't happen, they may turn bullish tomorrow morning and come right in and start buying for no other reason that they wanted to buy Friday, and they didn't. So we got the SPY here on the intraday chart. You can see this is one of the ones that did close weaker into the end of the day. Our trend chart showing bearish trend for the short term, medium term, and the longer term trend. Trend has turned bearish. Square. So Square just chopping around here, but we did close Friday back below that 20, so possible move down there. Tesla intraday. We did show a little relative strength by closing a little higher. And XLK trading within this wedge or within this channel, so we're looking for a move down to the bottom of the channel. Tesla, this is Tesla's weekly chart. We did get to close outside of this so it's actually a rising wedge. It looks very bear flaggish, but it's actually a rising wedge, and we got to close to the downside out of it. Watch that 50 and 200 there. Tesla trading within a wedge here as well, symmetrical triangle. We have broke down bad earnings, breaking us down, and they are selling it. We've took the 200 out. We do got this level of previous support here. I'd like to see these moving averages catching up if this does want to go lower. But if we can break below that volume profile, could see a little easier move down. I would really like to see some kind of bounce here and let those moving averages catch up first. We're losing our MACD there as well. We got Uber trading in this little wedge here as well. See this little H cell pattern and trying to move lower. Need to get those moving averages down there. Walmart, this is another one that's in the middle of forming a head and shoulders. You can see shoulder, head, and possibly working on a shoulder here. We did get a nice close below our moving averages. We still got our 200 down here. Those colors are wrong. Strong candle with a strong close on Friday to the downside. XLE, pretty triple topish here. I mean, it's not a level triple top, but you can see this trend line that we need to take out. But we do have a possible inverted head and shoulders. You can see shoulder, head, possible shoulder being put in. Need to keep an eye on that and what's happening with the ground invasion. XLF strong close below here on Friday. TLT with a strong move down here as well. And Friday having a little bullish Rami there, so possible bounce may be incoming there. And IWM, nice move down on IWM weekly. And if we go to IWM daily, strong move down out of the head and shoulders pattern that we were tracking. Very H-cell pattern this here for another breakdown. So see where we open up tomorrow. It's a very good chance that we could try to bounce at least a little bit to let some of those oscillators and indicators and put the call ratios and let some of that stuff cool off before actually making a big move. Now keep in mind, Monday we're usually choppy, and that's just kind of a market behavior pattern, so that's what we're expecting, and that chop could also help cool us off. I hope you find this helpful, and I will see you in the trading room.